Today's video is going to be the handbag tag. I actually got this idea from Fancy Pants Style. I will link her channel down below. So if you have not seen her videos, please go subscribe. She just did this tag and I figured this would be something cool to do. So stay tuned if you would like to see my handbag tag. Okay. So I've debated for a while whether or not I wanted to post a handbag collection, and I still kind of don't know what I want to do. I would like to post it, but I feel a particular type of way about just showing all the expensive things I have. I don't know, that just, it's not me. So if I don't post that, I figured this would be something nice to do, substituting the handbag collection video. So it's just a tag of questions for handbag lovers. So I'm a handbag lover. If you're not, you may not find this video interesting, but if you are, I hope you like it. So let's get on to the questions. I do have them on my phone, so I'll be looking down. The first question is favorite brand and why. I'm gonna probably contradict myself a lot in this video. I'm going to have to say my favorite brand is Louis Vuitton, and it's not for the reason you would think. It's not because they're just the most popular bags. I don't even really like their monogram bags too much anymore, but I like the designer or the house of Louis Vuitton overall because they have so many different collections or styles or prints. So they have the Vernis collection, they have the monogram, the Damier Azur, the Damier Ebene, the Empreinte, they just have a lot of different lines. So I think in Louis Vuitton there's something for everyone. My mom doesn't like monogram bags, but she likes the Epi line. So I just think there's something for everyone, whereas if you went to, I don't know, Prada, most of the handbags have the same shape and design. You don't really have an array of collections within the brand. So that's why Louis Vuitton is my favorite brand, but just favorite because of the variety and versatility, not so much favorite because it's Louis Vuitton. Question 2, do you consider yourself a collector? Yes, because I have quite a few handbags in general, not only designer handbags. Yeah, it's something I love collecting, and when you have a whole linen closet size closet devoted to handbags, I would say you're probably a collector, so I would have to say I am. Number 3, if you had to part with a bag, what would it be like? Now I, unlike many people, I don't mind parting with bags. I've actually sold probably 5 bags in the past 6 months. Not all being premier designer handbags, but I'm the type of person, I like to collect things, but I don't want to become a hoarder. So my rule with everything is if I haven't used it in 6 months, I probably don't need it unless it's something really special or sentimental, but that's kind of the rule I go with when parting with things. If you haven't used it in 6 months, you probably aren't going to use it. So that's how I justify selling bags. And then it's fun because if you sell a bag you're not using, you can buy another one that you would like more. So that's kind of what I do. That's why when people are like, oh, you spend so much money on handbags or clothes or shoes or whatever, makeup, it's like, yes, but I also recycle what I have. I may have a $50 hoodie that I got for half off that I wore once and it's like not my style anymore, so I'll sell it for $50. I make a profit and I'm able to get something that I would enjoy better. So that's kind of how I justify being able to sell and buy handbags. When did you fall in love with handbags? This is interesting. I think I was 12 or 13. Well, let's go back to the beginning. I've always loved handbags as a kid when I was little. If I can find this picture of myself, I will insert it now. It's a picture of myself walking in the first home I lived in and through the kitchen with my mom's purse on my shoulder, and I'm like switching my hips. It's the cutest picture ever, but I honestly have loved handbags since I was a child. I can always remember I was the type of child who loved to go into Sanrio because I also love Hello Kitty and get a little shoulder bag and I didn't really keep anything in it because I was like 5, and what do you own when you're 5? But I just like the ladylike aspect of carrying a purse. I always have. So I've always been into handbags. It wasn't until I was about 12 or 13 that I got into designer handbags. And I remember specifically, my father and I had taken a trip to Miami to visit family. And that was the first time I had ever been around like Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I think my cousin had a Gucci Jackie O bag at the time, and I was like in love with it. So on that trip, I actually think I got a Coach purse and a Coach hat, and that kind of just started my obsession. And from then on, I just bought handbags all the time, especially when I could afford to do so on my own. So it really happened when I was about 12 or 13 when I started getting into more designer handbags. First designer handbag. So I think my first designer handbag was that Coach bag that I got in Miami. But my first premier designer handbag, what I like to call it, kind of like the higher end bags. Coach is a designer handbag to me, but there are other brands, of course, that are more expensive. I would say my first premier designer handbag was Louis Vuitton. I'm pretty sure it was the monogram pochette, and that's the little bag that everybody has. It's like this big. It's like a rectangle, and it has a short strap. It's just like a mini bag, and that was my first bag. I think I got that on my 13th birthday. I begged my mother for that bag, and she finally caved and got it for me. And it was really special. I wish I had it to show you, but I don't know. I think I actually gave it away a couple years ago just because I wasn't using it. And at that time I had gotten many more Louis Vuittons, so it wasn't that special to me. But looking back on it, I probably should have kept it because that was something really sentimental and that I probably want to give to my daughter one day if I have one. So that was my first premier designer handbag. Okay, why do you think you're obsessed with handbags? Now, in the video, Kelly said that she wasn't obsessed. I know I'm obsessed. Yeah, I have an obsessive personality. I'm also obsessive compulsive. So yeah, I'm obsessed. I think with me, it started out just because it was something unique to me that I had never seen. My mom, she always carried Coach, Dooney and Burke, stuff like that, but she never really carried higher end purses when I was younger. But so I think it started just as like an appreciation for, wow, this is something I've never seen before. But as I got older, I think I really started to spend more money on them because my weight would always fluctuate. Like even now, I'm about 20 pounds heavier than I want to be. So in my mind, I don't want to spend a lot of money on clothes because my weight fluctuates so much all the time. If I'm not just strict in losing weight, it fluctuates. So it's like, why spend $300 every couple months on a new seasonal wardrobe when I can just buy a bag that I can carry forever? So that is my justification as to why I buy designer handbags. Not only because I love them, but no matter how big or small I get, the bag will still fit me. So that's the honest truth. But I am obsessed, and I have no problem admitting it. I spend hours a day researching bags. If I could get my brother in here, he would attest to it. And even though he knows nothing about bags and doesn't care, I'll ask him his opinion. Do you think this or this would look better on me? What will be more functional for my lifestyle? Like, that's how I know I have a problem, because I spend hours thinking about them, contemplating purchases, saving up money, planning on how I'm going to save to get the next bag. Like, I already have my next 3 items that I want to get this month, and then one for my birthday next month. I don't know if I'm going to get them all, but that is my plan. So that's how I know I have an obsession, and I'm completely okay with it because I recognize it. It is a problem, and I'm not going to work through the problem just yet. Is there an emotional component? Yes, I would say there is, because you do get attached to your bags. I don't really know what you mean by emotional component, but I do get attached to my bags because I love them. Like, it's so weird, and if you're not into purses, you probably think I'm absolutely crazy, which is fine. But when you get a bag that you've looked at, researched, thought about for months, maybe even a year, and you finally get it, it's like, it's the greatest feeling. I don't know. So there is an emotional component to it, but not so much where I'm like, oh, I could never do without it. Like, another kind of rule or saying that I live by is you can't afford it if you can't afford to buy it twice. And if you can't afford to lose it, then you shouldn't have it. So if my house burned down tomorrow and I lost all my bags, it would be sad, but I would eventually get them again. Not saying that I would go out and buy 50 handbags, but they're not, it's not like I clutch them all the time, and you know, it's not a crazy obsessive relationship with my bags, but I do love them. I don't want to have a bag that I'm afraid to get a stain on it or afraid to get damaged because I either can't afford it or it's too much of an emotional attachment. So that's kind of my rule about that. This video is getting really long, I'm sorry. Okay, do you plan or impulse buy? Plan, plan, plan. Because I am so obsessive and compulsive, I plan my whole life. Like, if you could look through my phone right now, I'm a list person. I have to stay organized by making lists, and because I really like to stay organized, I plan everything. I don't think I've ever, the only really thing I buy on impulse are like cheap things, like a pair of lashes or a Maybelline lipstick. Like, but even then I kind of feel a particular way. Like, every week I make a budget for myself, food, gas, whatever, and I like to stick to that budget. I don't really do anything on impulse. That's why my father would tell me all the time, oh, I'm so worried about your spending habits and when you get a house, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know that won't be an issue for me because I do plan so strategically. If it's not in my weekly budget, I more than likely will not get it. I'm not an impulse bag buyer at all. That would be crazy because I would probably, well, for one, I wouldn't be able to afford it. So yeah, let's just leave it at that. Do you have a dream bag? Yes, I do, and I was just actually talking about this with my brother and my father last night because he was watching the Susie Orman show, and they had this segment of Can I Afford? And I was saying how I would never go on that segment because if I have the money to buy it twice, I'm gonna buy it. So my number one dream handbag is an Hermes Birkin, 35 centimeter. I'm not sure of the leather I want. Yes, I've researched it that much. And I think I would want two, one in tan or gold and one in black, of course. And that, to me, that's just my dream handbag because it's so classy. Like, it's just very structured and it has a classic shape, an iconic shape and style. But the bag is also like, I think $10,000. So yeah, when I get a lot older and more established into a career, I probably will. But of course, at this point, I can't afford that. But those, I want two of them. Those are actually my dream handbags, and I know I'll at least get one in the future. And the last question is, why do I share on YouTube? I share on YouTube because this is how I got into YouTube. I would watch makeup reviews, purse reviews, just anything. I really like getting people's perspective on different products, and I figured, why don't I share mine? Maybe this will be helpful to somebody else. And I think it's fun. I have some hobbies, but this is something that I really enjoy, and I don't know, my friends just pushed me to do it, and I really like doing videos. So yeah, that's why I do them. And who to tag, I don't really follow anybody or communicate or are friendly with anybody in the handbag community on YouTube or anything. So I tag anybody to do this tag if you would like to, or you can just comment down below what some of your favorite bags are. Well, I thought one of these questions was, what's your favorite handbag? I don't know why, maybe I misread the question. So I was going to show you my favorite handbag. So I guess I will just show you my favorite handbag at the moment anyway. I can't really pick a favorite handbag because that's like choosing a favorite child, and I don't think a mother would do that. But at the moment, my favorite handbag is my Celine Mini Luggage in drum leather. And of course it's in black. So yeah. This is my favorite handbag at the moment. It probably changes month to month because I do change purses very often. But right now, this is what I'm loving, and you can expect to see a what's in my bag tag with this bag shortly, and it'll probably make it in a favorites video because I just really love this bag. So this video is way too long. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video to be somewhat informative. Just get to know a little bit more about why I'm so obsessed with bags and my love for them. But I've done too much talking, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.